Ever been called names just for setting a simple boundary? Let's talk about what happens when you finally say no. Okay, hey, this is Francisca and this is Mommy Crisis Life, and today is Crisis Confessionals. Okay, so today's Crisis Confessionals, I think, picks up on a theme that I've been talking about for the last few weeks. So anyone who's been keeping up with my videos will know that recently I've gone through like this big shift, this big change, this big evolution, whatever you want to call it, this big transition, and that a lot of it was about kind of letting go of myself, of a version of myself that was holding me back. And all of it really started from kind of assessing the relationships I had around me, assessing the friendships I had around me, and looking at them and realizing that a lot of them were really one-sided, basically. And letting go of those relationships really actually just felt like letting go of myself in a lot of ways. So I'm past that hurdle and I have released that version of me, and something really has shifted. And I spoke about that a lot the other week. And I'll put the video up here if anybody wants to see that video. But this is really it's really difficult for me to talk about. I don't know why. Well, I do know why, but I'm not going to get into it now. All right, I'm just going to tell you guys what's been going on. Okay, so from I made that decision, or from that change has happened, right? I've made some decisions about how I want to show up in my life. And I've made some decisions about putting in place some boundaries that are more loving towards myself, that are not so much about people pleasing, that are not so much about kind of this desperation to prove that I'm worthy of being loved, and therefore kind of doing and giving and running after people and never really saying no, not having any boundaries because, I need to be loved, basically. So I have only a very small group of what I would call close friends or family. And, I think really the truth is that actually they're not really that close. They're just familiar or regular, like parts of my life, I guess. Um, but of the small group of people that I do talk to on a regular basis who are more familiar to me in my life, there are three particular people who every month, without fail, maybe multiple times in a month, contact me and ask me for money. They're always asking to borrow money off of me. And one of the decisions that I made was that I was no longer going to do that. That I didn't really feel that it was fair, firstly, that these three fully grown adults rely on me with regularity for me to maintain or underpin or hold up their financial situation when they make irresponsible financial decisions. On a base level, I didn't think that was fair. But equally, not even equally, on top of that, moreover, I didn't think it was fair that I'm doing that as a single parent of two children when two of these people are fully grown adults in their 40s with no kids, no dependents, no responsibilities outside of themselves, and come and ask me for money. And one of them is a fully grown adult in their 40s with two fully grown adult children who also have their own finances and a partner as well, who lives in a house that was bought for them by their dad. But all of them come to me to ask me for money. Now, even if I wasn't particularly pissed off about those things, just about like, why am I managing your finances? And secondly, why am I managing your finances when you don't have any responsibilities and I have responsibilities that I have to take care of and no support within my immediate family? If I wasn't pissed off enough about those two things, there's also the fact that all of these relationships are just exceedingly one-sided for various different reasons. And it's not the same pattern in every single relationship, but there's the same subtext in all of the relationships that these people don't really check for me. They don't celebrate my wins. They don't celebrate my children's wins. They never ask me if I'm all right. I never come to them for practical, financial, or emotional support, really. And the relationships just really are just, the balance is just so off, right, in all of the relationships. So with all of this in mind, I made a decision. I am not going to lend any more money to anybody. And not only did I make a decision that I wasn't going to lend any more money to anybody, I made the decision that I wasn't going to fucking apologize about it either. I was not going to say to them, oh, listen, I'm really sorry, but I can't help you out, because it's not my responsibility to manage your financial situation. Yeah, it's my responsibility to manage my financial situation, and it's my responsibility to manage my children, which I do without any support. So I knew that at some point, because it happens every single month, at some point these people were going to contact me and say to me, hey, can I borrow some money? And I'd already decided that what I was going to say to them very clearly was just going to be, this has become a pattern. I've decided that I'm not going to be lending any more money to anyone. It's not particularly kind, but also I don't think it's particularly rude. The responses that I got from these people when I said that one very simple thing was shocking, but unsurprising. So not only did not a single one of them say to me, oh, okay, I acknowledge that that's where you're at and that's a boundary that we're putting up, or, yep, no worries, not a problem at all, no stress, you do you. Not only did they not say that, they didn't even find it in themselves to be like, oh, okay, you know what? Thanks very much, though. Thanks very much for all of the times that you've lent me money. Like, thank you so much for putting your hand in your pocket without thinking every single time. And thank you so much for doing that, even though you carry all of the financial responsibility of your own family on your shoulders anyway. And just, I'm really grateful for the multiple times that you've done this for me without question, without thinking, without any, just anything, just thanks. You know, I acknowledge that you did that for me. That's really great. But you see, for me, as a good friend, right? And as someone who is supposed to know me and is supposed to love me, right? A good friend's response to that would be something like, do you know what? Even though it puts me in a difficult situation, even though it's maybe not what I want to hear, actually, do you know what? I'm really proud of you. I'm really proud of you for finally making this decision. I'm really proud of you for finally putting your boundaries in place. I know how hard you find that because I know you and I love you. And this is a massive step forward for you. And actually, even though it may leave me in a difficult situation and even though it might make things harder for me or might make me have to look at myself, for you, what an accomplishment. What an achievement. Well done. That's a fucking good friend. That's someone that really actually truly knows you. That's someone who really actually truly is there for you. The responses that I got were, oh, okay, if you're going to be like that, then blah, 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 blah. Because apparently I'm not allowed to say no. I'm not allowed to just have a boundary. I'm not allowed to not give you my money freely whenever you ask for it. I got, all right, okay then. And then not a response at all to my messages. But the most interesting one that I got was from one of my friends who said to me, oh, okay, cool, no worries, man, as long as you're all good. I said, yeah, man, I'm all good, like, no issues whatsoever. That friend then said to me, yeah, I was wondering if you were okay, because clearly there must be something wrong with me if I'm saying to someone that I don't want to give you any of my money anymore. Yeah, I was wondering if there's something wrong with you because you've been missing lately. Now, this is a friend, right, who I would say the way that our friendship is one-sided in the sense of, okay, if I'm having an absolute fucking breakdown, if I'm having an absolute fucking crisis, yeah, then I can contact this person and I can say, hey, I'm on my face. Can you talk to me? Or my mum's thrown me out. And she's like, yeah, come stay with me, right? So I don't doubt that this person doesn't care about me or isn't a friend in some ways, right? Because they are. But there's a significant and sustained lack of effort in the relationship. So the relationship is one-sided in the sense of if I want to see this person, I have to travel 50 miles. I have to do a 100-mile round trip to go to them. They never come out. They never come to me. They never come to anything that I invite them to. They never really respond to me when I send them messages. And when I do go to their house, there's this kind of atmosphere, this undertone of like, you know, you should be really grateful that you're here because you know you're staying in my house, right? And why aren't you cooking? Like, why aren't you cleaning the kitchen? And why aren't you like doing all of these things? Because remember, this is my house, yeah, and I've let you stay here. Forget the fact that I won't see you. You wouldn't see me unless I came to your fucking house, yeah? But while I'm there, I have to feel uncomfortable. There's all of these remarks, comments, underhanded comments made, all of these jokes made at my expense. And it's just uncomfortable, to be perfectly honest. Yeah? It's just really, really, really uncomfortable. Not only that, you know, one time I made a decision to not try to initiate any conversation about myself on the phone to this person. And I made a decision to just say, yes, really. And you know, this person spoke about themselves without stopping for an hour and 45 minutes on the phone to me. And then when they were done, said, oh, okay, I gotta go now. Every time I go to this person's house, the conversation revolves around them, their children, them, their children, what they did, their sickness, the state of their house, their own mental health, their children, what they said to their children, what their children said to them, yeah, and oh, yeah, their thoughts and opinions and feelings. And I sit there a lot of the time just thinking to myself, kind of surplus to requirements here. Like, I'm not really sure why I'm here. And, you know, when I really started seeing it was when I had gone to Costa Rica and I'd gone through this big change and I'd come back and I wasn't interested anymore in having that, like, verbal sparring like that, like, oh, let's have a debate and let's be really lively and let's cut each other off and get our points across and like just like have our own opinion and stand by it and like ram it down someone's throat. Like, I just don't care. Like, I don't care to be like that anymore. And I just sit in observation. And honestly, I could spend 3 days in this person's house, right? Because if I'm driving 100 miles to come and see you, then I'll stay over, right? And we spend a couple of days together and then I'll go home. And I can literally spend 3 days in this house and this person not ask me a single fucking time, what's going on in your life? How's this going? How's your YouTube channel going, Fran? Like, is there anything that you're dealing with? Is there anything that you're struggling with? Like, is there anything you want to talk about? Like, not once. Like, not once. Like, do you know, and the thing is, right, I don't want to sit here and I don't want to just be like bashing this person because that's not the point, but without context, it's hard to understand what it is that I'm talking about in terms of like the nuances of what these like imbalanced and toxic relationships kind of look like, right? And as I say, like, this person is not a bad person. She's a good person. She does good things. And she's not an abusive person, like, but the relationship in itself is abusive, right? So I wrote a book a couple years ago and I published it. And like, I just self-published it. It's on Amazon. I wasn't expecting it to be like a New York Times bestseller. Like, I mean, I would love to have a New York Times bestseller at some point, but it was just the accomplishment that I wrote something and that I published this thing that I wrote. What an amazing thing for me to have done, right? There are people who talk their whole freaking lives about writing a book and don't even get a page of it written, let alone finished, edited, and then published somewhere. Do you know, not only did this person not buy the book, not read the book, not congratulate me on the book, she didn't even acknowledge the message. She didn't even acknowledge the message where I said, oh, look what I've done. There was dead fucking silence. And you know, I asked her about it about 6 months later. What was that about? That really upset me. Like, oh, well, you told me that I was in the book, so that just kind of like freaked me out and then I didn't really want anything to do with it. No. I said I dedicated the book to you. I dedicated the book to you. And you didn't even fucking acknowledge my message. Oh, okay, now I understand it. Oh, okay, that's not so scary for me. Has she read it? Has she mentioned it? Has she said anything about it ever since? Never. Not once. Not once. And you know, the kind of final straw for me with this relationship was really recently. This person called me up. Now, I'll text this person and I don't know, like 1 in 5 times they'll respond to me. Her boyfriend came with me to watch Callum play and was like, oh, like, because I was there and because I drove him there and then I drove him back to his house, 120 miles round trip. And was like, yeah, no, I'd really love to come to more games, blah, 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 blah. Contacted him 3 times, never responded. Contacted him and told him that my son his team had won the cup final. No response whatsoever. But suddenly I get a message from him. Hey, do you want to come on this holiday with us? Okay. So I messaged him back saying, yeah, I'm interested. What is it? Called me immediately. And I was like, yeah, I'm not really ready to talk to you about it. 20 minutes later, my friend calls me. I'm like, okay. This is also unexpected. So I'm like, no, I don't really want to talk to you. I'll call you back when I'm ready. So I call her back a couple of hours later and she's like, oh, okay, didn't want to talk to me, did you? It's an interesting observation. Thought you'd just call me back whenever you feel like it. Ha ha ha, jokey, ha ha ha. Not really a joke. So I just blew past that. She spent 20 minutes convincing me to come on this holiday with her. And I was like, okay, the dates are not convenient for X, Y, and Z reason. Yeah. But what will you do if I can't come? How will you get all of the equipment up there? Oh, yeah, don't worry about it, man. Like, if you can't come, my dad will take us. He's got no issues. 4 times she said that to me in a conversation. And she found about 10 to 12 alternative like possibilities, like scheduling possibilities so that I could come on this holiday. Oh, yeah, no, we're definitely going to leave early. Don't worry. How about if we do it this way? How about if we do it this way? How about if you do it like that? In the end, I was like, all right, cool, man. You have convinced me. Clearly, you really, really want me to be there on this holiday with you. So let's make it happen. I said, all right, cool, listen, I'm going to come, but I'm not going to bring my car because then that means I can leave straight away from there and then go do the thing that I need to do that you've been trying to find all these workarounds. The minute that I said, I'm not going to bring my car, all of a sudden, well, how about if we went on a different weekend? How about if we went this week? What about the summer? What about this day? What about if, you know what, maybe we should just rethink it. Like, maybe this isn't just convenient for everybody. You know, I just want to do what's convenient for you. Okay, then. So, anyway, after I sent the message to this person and said, I'm not giving anyone any more money. And she wrote back to me and said, yeah, no worries, man. All good. Just hope you're okay. Yeah, I'm good. Oh, okay, because you've been missing since this date, since me and her boyfriend went to the football with my son. And I remember getting that message and just thinking, yeah, no, I'm definitely not going to be having that. Like, so very politely, I wrote back and said, yeah, not really. I don't really think that I've been missing. And then I listed all of the times that I'd contacted her and her partner over the last month and a half. And the fact that she'd not responded to any of it. Neither of them had. and then said, and then you were going to get back to me about dates for this holiday that you wanted me to come on, but then wanted to change after you found out that I wasn't going to bring the car. And then other than that, you've asked me for money twice. Well, she did not like it. She did not like it, because the truth of the matter is that when you start putting boundaries in place, when you start saying no to people who are used to you being a people pleaser, they don't fucking like it. So the following day I came home to a message that called me arrogant, that called me petty, that called me ignorant. And there's so many things, right, that I could talk about in terms of that message. But I think really the one or two things that I really wanted to pick up on is that I think it's really important to listen to people's language when they talk, when they say certain things. So for someone to call me arrogant, for someone to call me petty, for someone to call me ignorant, usually what people say to you is either who they actually are or how they actually feel. So I know that I can be arrogant. Everybody can be arrogant, right? But I think that fundamentally there's been such a distinct and massive change in me, and I continue to evolve. And I don't want to continue having the same conversations that I've been having with this person since 20 years that I've known them. We were talking about the kids and the psychology of the kids and the psychology of being a parent and deconstructing our children. It's like, I don't care anymore. I've moved on. Let's talk about something else. And I think that they feel that, and they feel that very strongly. And I think that when I'm saying things like, well, actually, let me just clearly list the way that you're not correct and that I'm not going to take the blame for us not having spoken, I'm just meeting your energy. I'm just not initiating it. I think to someone who may be looking at a relationship that has moved on, or somebody that's moved on, or somebody who has gone out into the world and experienced things. I mean, there's living in a foreign country with your two kids by yourself and having to figure that shit out, that grows you. Even if you're not trying to evolve, even if you're not trying to put the work in, it's going to grow you more than sitting at home in a house that your dad paid for. And I think that there's just a feeling that she has where she feels like either that she feels like, oh, she is more evolved than me, or because I just think because she feels like that, she just projects it onto me and says, you think that you're so fucking nice, man. It's like, I don't really think I'm nice. I just think I'm me. And I think maybe that might be intimidating. There might be a feeling of inferiority, that's more about you than it is anything about me, because I don't put any of that on you. And now that I'm telling the truth, now you want to come at me about it. All right, cool. I think when people say that other people are petty and ignorant, it's like, how can I say to you how I feel and clearly give you evidence that backs up how I feel, and you call me ignorant with no self-reflection of your own that might cause you to consider why I might be responding to you in the way that I am? What maybe am I going through that's got nothing to do with you? Like I said, let's celebrate the fucking boundaries that I've put up, And I think calling someone petty just kind of completely invalidates somebody's experience. And I think that it's for me, I just feel and I've said it before, the type of people that I want in my life are the type of people that are going to celebrate me, and my kids, because that's what I'm like. I do, and I give practically and emotionally and energetically to all of the relationships that I have. And if I'm in, right? But then once I'm gone as well. Once I'm out. And I think this kind of complete invalidation of what I'm feeling, that's not the kind of friend that I want to be, that I want to have. Friends don't gaslight their other friends. Friends don't say when their friend says to them, well, actually, I don't think I've been missing. Here are all the times I've tried to contact you and you haven't responded, other than to ask me for money. Yeah. So I will not take responsibility for this. I've just not been initiating it anymore. When someone says that to you, they don't say, don't know what you're talking about. Don't really know what you mean. When somebody highlights the fact that the only reason you wanted me to come on a holiday and the only reason that you're so desperate to get hold of me right now is for my car, which is so fucking obvious. Good friends don't say, yeah, I don't see that. That's not valid. Didn't happen. I was just trying to find a time that suited everybody. That's all I was trying to do. I don't know what you're talking about. But, if that's how you see it, that's how you see it. But you're the petty, ignorant one. And there's a lot in the whole situation that's just about me and, about my own fear and about my fear of speaking out, my fear of then getting that response, my fear of them feeling okay, well, is it me? Am I the problem? Am I the issue here? If everybody's responding to me in this way, then I must have done something wrong by saying to people that I don't want to give you any more of my money, right? Is it my responsibility? Am I the crazy one? Am I seeing things that aren't there? Am I creating problems that aren't there? There's so much fear around what if I'm wrong? What if they don't like me? What if they get mad at me? So I shouldn't have any boundaries and I shouldn't say anything. And it clearly fucking shows, because every single person that I've said this to who consistently expects me to just be available to them, has reacted really, really cruelly towards me for me just saying, I don't really want to do this anymore. And it's like, the relationship is so contractual. Like, there's no interest in me. There's no celebration of my achievements. There's not even really an acknowledgement of them. And as long as I don't mention it, then we're fine, you know? So as a reason I'm telling you this story, there's so much in it, right? And I've just been banging on about it for ages, but it's just really, really been in my head because it's really painful, actually. It's really painful to say, hey, listen, is it all right if I just put myself first and my needs first for now, from now on? And everyone be like, who the fuck do you think you are? Well, if you're going to be like that, then I'm going to be a cunt to you. It's just really, really upsetting. But I think the reason why I wanted to talk about it today, particularly, is because since it's happened, I've really been trying to maintain a level of equilibrium. But the truth is that I don't feel balanced. I've really been trying to be like, you know what? That's on them. That's okay. Like, that's not about me. That's about them. It's not personal to me. It's very personal to me, but it's not about me. And I know that that's the truth. But the truth of the matter is that I'm just really fucking angry. Like, I'm really fucking angry about it, right? But the thing is like, it's been really important that I haven't ignored that anger, basically. I tried to for a long time, for a good week, and then I couldn't. And then I finally sat down and I did a meditation in my car while I was waiting for my electric car to charge. And I was like, no, I need to deal with this, right? Because it's everywhere. It's all over me. It's in my head. It's all I can think about. And I'm trying not to think about it. And I'm trying to be normal, but I'm not being normal. And I can't be dealing with this anymore. But here's the thing, right? Once I'd done that meditation, what I realized is that I needed that anger to be able to remember that I do not want anything to do with these relationships anymore. I do not want anything to do with relationships like this anymore. I do not want anything to do with relationships that are based on the same foundation of the relationships that I had with my parents, where I have no power, I have no say, where I have to give and I'm not allowed to speak my mind or have any free will because there will be repercussions. I will not have anything like that anymore. And if that offends anybody, if that shocks people, if that makes people look at themselves in a way that they or I don't like, then, or if it makes them look at me in a way that they don't like, I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. And pretending that I'm not angry about it is a lie, because the truth is I don't give a fuck. Really, not a single one. Not a single one. All the relationship, all those bridges can burn as far as I'm concerned, because I am not that girl anymore. I'm not that person anymore. And I will not be treated like that anymore, just for simply saying, I don't want to lend you any of my own money. So that's what's going on for me at the moment. And it's a really convoluted story. But I think come back tomorrow for Monday Mindset, because I'm going to talk a little bit more about kind of the dynamics of these relationships. I'm going to talk a little bit more about how there's kind of this sickness in society where there's like this need to always be content, this kind of toxic positivity crap, right? But actually that's not real. What we really need is the truth, because the truth is the thing that gives us clarity, right? And I think that's it. But one thing that I will say that I'm grateful for, I'm grateful. I'm grateful that I have finally found a voice, that I finally decided to get rid of that exhaustion that comes with overgiving, that I finally decided to speak up and not whisper, that I finally decided to take up space that I wouldn't usually take up. And I finally decided to put in boundaries, because those boundaries will ultimately bless not just me, but those other people as well. Yeah, I think that's it. What boundary do you need to set but haven't? How have people reacted to any boundaries you have set? Share your story below and subscribe for more honest conversations about toxic relationships.